What's up? How are you?
I'm doing great, my man.
Me too. Me too.
What you got for us?
Today we are checking out Joker and the Thief by Wolfmother. So they're I'm sure you know, they're an Australian band, and this song came out quite a while ago, but it was, it was a big hit. So we're just going to go straight into it, I think, and go straight into our intro riff, which is kind of, it's like a lot of hammer-ons, okay?
Is this a beginner song, intermediate, advanced?
I think anyone can try it. I don't think it's not like super hard. Getting used to the hammer-ons is kind of a tricky thing, but you just persevere with that and you'll get it in no time.
Hammer-ons are just
sorry, wrong place. When you pick the string once, or like a hammer-on might just be from one note to another. In this case, we're going to be playing an open string, hammering on with our first finger and then our third as well. So it's like that's a hammer-on. Yeah.
Sick
So
one.
let's look at that first riff. Let's look at it. So we're going to start with on our open D string, which is our fourth string. We're going to be just rotating between the fourth string and the third string, okay, between the D and the G string. So we're going to be hammering on the 5th fret with our first finger, and then the 7th fret with our third finger with both strings. So it's like play it open, hammer on with your first finger on 5, hammer on with your third finger on the 7, and then do the same thing on the string below that. Open, 5, 7. Just start super slow if you're new to this, and just remember to gain up your amp. If you don't have enough gain on it, if it's like this, you might not even hear you pressing down on it. So if you add a bit of gain, that'll add the sustain and get the notes. Just slowly get that quicker. That's what we want to aim for. That's the riff for our intro, and it's also the riff that's happening over the entire chorus. Okay, so that's a huge part of the song. So the song starts with that riff. It happens. It's like if you think about it, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like if you play it, there's one bar of music. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hi-hats come in on drums.
Tap your foot.
Threw me off, man. Okay, then after that, there's a bass and the keyboard that comes in with our chords, and I'm just going to show you what they are that are happening behind that riff. So this song is in drop D. I should have mentioned that earlier. We're going to drop the E string down to a D. Okay, so if you're not sure about that,
Tuning, right?
Tuning, yeah. Top string is normally an E. I've tuned it down to an open D. So if you know how to tune guitar like to itself off that 5th fret thing, if you play this is a D note. When you press down on it on the 7th fret, it should sound the same as our open A string below it. So if I'm up at E, which I would normally tune on the 5th fret to the open A, there's an E. I can now tune it down. And the 7th fret should sound the same as the open A.
Okay.
And then when you play the top 3 strings together, that should sound like a power chord. So now your power chords are no longer like this. They're going to be one finger flat on the top 3 strings. That's our power chord for this tuning now. Okay.
Is drop D used a lot in a lot of like rock tunes and
a lot of rock tunes, yeah.
Thrashy tunes,
a lot of rock and metal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just go straight into the chord progression that's happening in the intro. Underneath that riff is a D to a C. If you're doing it on the thickest E string, the D would actually be the 12th fret flat with your across the top 3 strings. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 2. So you could do this if you got playing this song with 2 guitarists in the band. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Down to fret 10. We're going to go up to fret 15. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Up to 17. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and. Okay, so that's the chords that are actually happening behind this riff.
So they're literally just barring the 3 bottom
right.
top strings. Sorry.
Yeah, for power chords in drop D, that's how you play them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And you're always just playing with your index finger.
No, I'm going to play this with my third finger right now, and you'll see why in a minute. So once we've done that intro riff, this is the verse riff, okay? So third finger is on the 12th fret. Normally that's an E, but because we're in drop D, this is a D chord, a D5 or a D power chord. So don't stress about that. We're just going to talk about fret numbers, okay? So it's going to start on that. And you can hear they're very staccato hits, which means they stop almost as quick as they start. So they're not like... They're very short there. And the way I get that is I actually release the pressure. I don't take the finger off, but I just release the pressure. So I go... I also use my right hand, the palm of my right hand, to touch the strings after I hit it. Okay? I'm going using my first finger on the 10th fret. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and now that slide up to fret 15 only happens in this intro. Only happens once in the whole song. Okay, so it's... What's important here is the strumming. It's down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. That's a slide up, okay? And then we're going straight back down on the 12 to do it again. So this riff is... Then we're going to go up to fret 15. 2, 3, 4, up to 17. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and that's the same groove that we had happening between 10 and 12. That was... And then the drums are in here. And it keeps going. And we stay here for our verse. So our first verse is like this. I said the Joker is a wanted man. He makes his way all across the land. See him sitting through the sand. So I'll tell you all the story about the Joker and the thief. And it keeps going. And it breaks here, but it's the same. Sorry. Verse 2 is exactly the same. He's always laughing in the midst of power. Always laughing in the power. Sorry. They're always and these are like very stop here. So we are not going home, and then we're going into our chorus. Over that second verse, there's some other extra notes happening. They're like now these are just notes of the D pentatonic minor. Obviously, you'd have to change it there because we're drop Ds, but that doesn't matter. So you can play the 10th fret on the second string, 2, 3 to number 12 on the third. Say on that string, but 10, 2, 3, back to the 12, 2, 3, 4, the 10, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. That's all that's happening. Those are those notes. Yeah. And then we go after that second verse, we're into the chorus. So the chorus is exactly the same as... And if you listen to it, there's kind of a phasering kind of effect happening on that. I actually have a phaser effect built into this amp. That's flange.
Here's one I prepared earlier.
That's flanger. You get this kind of phasery sound. It could be kind of like that. Gives it that kind of watery, washy kind of phased sound. You play that through the whole chorus. It's like... Obviously underneath that riff is still going, and then I'm just going to turn that off for a second. The chords are the same. It's like, can you hear the Joker flying over? 2, 3. And she's standing in the field of clover. Same as the intro. Up to 15. Watching every day. And then over those kind of chords, which is played by the bass and the keyboard, is our riff the whole time. Then we go back into our verse 3. It starts, drums keep going, and we go back to this riff. What'd you say? Verse 3, exactly the same as the second verse. Straight away we have these notes. Going over that as well, we go into verse 4, which is once again exactly the same. With just, yeah, it's exactly the same. Straight after that, we go into our second chorus, which is exactly the same as the first one. The same chords in the background with our riff. After that, coming out of that, we go to our bridge riff, okay? So we're coming out, we go... and then it's like a D, and bring it out, and then it's... So we're going to hit this D note here. 5th fret on the 5th string. Use your second finger, because you're going to have a look at this pattern we're going to play it. I'll just play it first for you. Bum, based on a D major pentatonic. Okay, so second finger on the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Little finger on 7. So we're going on the D string. 7, 5, 4, 5, 4. Second finger on the D. First finger on the C on the 3rd fret on the A string. 2, 3, 4. Same idea. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to take this up. We're going to slide that up. 3, 4. Now we're going from fret 7 up to 9. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're up to 12. Still with our second finger. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just up the octave. 2, 3, 4. Same pattern. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 2, 3. And now we go to this next part, which is... Now this part here is played in our pentatonic minor shape, number 2, which is... If you're unsure what these shapes are and everything like that, you check out the Wailing with Pentatonics course at wailguitar.com. Anyway, when we get to this part, we are... 3rd finger is on the 15th fret on the 2nd string. And I'm going to flatten that finger on the 13. I'm going from 15 to 13 on the 2nd to the 13 with my 1st finger. So it's... And I can use my 3rd finger on 15 the 2nd time around instead of using the 1st on the 13. So it's... The whole thing is... Keeps going. There's chords under this, same as the intro. After this, we're going to go... We're going to bend that 15th fret with our 3rd finger. Remember to have your 2nd and 1st finger behind it on fret 14 and 13 to help bend this note up. So we're going to bend it up, and then bend it down, and then pull off to the 13th fret with our 1st. And then hit our 15th fret on the 2nd string. And then you can hear there's noise happening after that, so it's... He's kind of gone like this. Using his 2nd finger on the 14th fret on the D string, hammering on just open D to that E note.
It almost sounds details.
Yeah, I know, but it also sounds on the record. If he plays a Gibson SG, so we've got a 2 pickup system here, and the cool thing with Gibson guitars is I can wind the volume all the way back on this rhythm pickup or the neck pickup. So this is my volume for that. It's all the way off. So that way, this acts as a kill switch. So if I'm playing like... it just kills the signal because the volume is wound back on my bridge neck pickup, sorry. And I can hear that happening in the record as well. So if we go back to my treble, which is my bridge pickup. And then it goes back to this kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, back to our verse riff. And then Joker is a wanted man. This is the same as the first verse. Cross the land, see him sifting through the sand. So I'll tell you all the story about the Joker and the thief. I said, maybe the learn about this is what we call a tag, where you're playing the same idea 3 times kind of at the end to finish it off. So coming into that part again, let me just play it for you again. It's like and we cross the land, sifting through the sand, so I'll tell you all the story about the Joker and the thief. I said I'll tell you all about the Joker and the thief. Said I'll tell you all the story about the Joker and the thief in the night. That's all it is. We're going from our 15th fret to 17. We do that 3 times. And we're done. And that's pretty much the entire song. So if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, let us know. Just go back and rewind and replay parts that you need to. Yeah, in the meantime.
What's the biggest takeaway you reckon from this lesson?
Probably if you've never played drop D, that's a pretty cool thing to learn for the first time if you're unsure of what that was. The hammer on a pull-off thing is pretty good. I kind of flew through that solo, but just rewind it and replay it. It's not too hard. It's not too hard. Just keep practicing that and you'll get it. Yeah.
I guess if you know those pentatonics, it comes easier,
so
right?
you want to get to the point where you can hear and listen to these songs and be able to go, I can work that out by ear.
Yeah.
Like, so that part was like, it could be that's what I would call position 2. It could be in position 3. It's exactly the same sound.
Yeah. So I heard you like trying. I was out in the other room and I heard you kind of doing the solo part. And I was like, oh, that sounds just like the major scale. Is what it's based on the major
scale.
Are you talking
about
that? Yeah, that part there.
Yeah, because that's not just pentatonics. It's got this kind of. We go on the root note in the key of D to our 5th, 4th, 3rd, 4th, 3rd, root note down to the C. So that's kind of based on a major scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the song is in D major, so you can kind of get away playing. Well, yeah, you can kind of get away, like, if it was sort of like, yeah, you can, if it's in a major key, you can play major ideas and minor, they both work. That's a general rule. If it's in a minor key, you're kind of stuck to minor. The major scale won't work over the top of it, so, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest takeaway there.
Awesome stuff.
Keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next vid. Let us know if you want to hear any more tunes or any suggestions. Thank you very much. See you next time.